So we talked about how to recognize false prophets. We've talked about the motives of false prophets apart from being misled by a spirit. Now we're going to talk about why people follow false prophets. Now this is again from my phone, an old Samsung Galaxy S3 I carry around with me to take notes when I'm walking. This is about 6 minutes of notes I took, pausing it in between because there was a lot of traffic going by, so I'm trying not to get any cars in it. So hopefully this will turn out fine. There's a little bit of wind, but I think it's tolerable. And then I'll comment at the end of this. Here it is.
Why do people follow false prophets? Even when they know that they're false prophets, why do they follow them? They can follow them for entertainment purposes. It's exciting, to get ready for something that's not real. It's not going to happen, and just kind of play the role and pretend like it is. That can also be because their life is too boring to face. Or the possibility of Jesus not coming back, and we have to actually grow up and be mature and live a quiet life and mind our own business like Paul says that we must. That's hard to face. It's better to be excited and think that you're among the chosen few who will be here when Jesus returns. You feel special, more blessed, because you're the last of the saints before Jesus comes. There's something special about you because you don't have to die. All other Christians in history died, but you don't have to because Jesus will show up during your lifetime. That gives you significance, gives your life meaning, significance, more so than just being a Christian. You're a super Christian without even having to try. You don't have to obey. You don't have to be holy. You just have to be there at the end. And if someone tells you that you are there at the end, you feel special. You don't even have to do anything except just get excited about it. Now tell me that's not wicked. Tell me that's not evil. Tell me that is not only disrespectful, but it's irreverent. It's treating something that's sacred and reverent as irreverent, as commonplace, as something you just kind of use and throw away. It's the same attitude. Same attitude. Because if in fact you are not among the remnant, at the end of time, before Jesus comes back, those who are especially blessed and will not taste death before his coming, if you are not, and it is farther in the future, a different people, you're treating them as irreverent. You're treating the second coming of Christ as irreverent, with irreverence. You're treating it without reverence. It is not special. It is not sacred. It is not completely in God's control. And you think it's in the control of some man, or you pretend like it's in God's control, when in fact you know that this person is the one who's just coming up with these dates. You're worshiping human intellect, human effort, human manipulation. That's what you're doing. You're not worshiping the living God. Otherwise you would respect him. You would treat that as something sacred and holy and reverent. You would not treat that with such contempt. To think that this human being can know the time and the hour when not even the Son of Man knows it. Not only do his angels not know it, the Son of Man does not know the time or the hour when he's coming back. So why would you know? Or why would this human know? Why would the Father entrust them with the date or time? When he himself says through Jesus, no one knows. And he qualifies it by even the angels, the messengers of God, do not know. And neither does the Son of Man know. And if they can figure it out by calculating something from the Scriptures, then the Son of Man knows, because he is the Word of God through whom those words came. Anything in the Scriptures, Jesus knows intimately, thoroughly, and perfectly. Therefore, anything hidden in them, he knows that if the time and date are hidden in them, he knows. which contradicts the scriptures and Jesus' own teaching, which is speaking the words of the Father himself. Why did these people follow these false prophets? Another reason is because they want to belong. They want to be on a team, but yet not go to church. Well, I don't blame them for not wanting to go to a church building. The organizations that are so corrupt, that are teaching the false gospel, I wouldn't encourage them to go. But they want to kind of congregate around these personalities, these false prophets. It's based on their performances, these false prophets' performances. Notice the comments whenever any of them speak. Those comments always encourage them and talk about how nice they are, how sweet they are, how right they are, and how good they are. These people don't know these false prophets. They don't know them at all. They're judging these people based on their performances, their visages, which Jacob 2:1 commands us not to do that, not to have faith and persuasion in their visages. It's the performances of the false prophets that are gathering these people around them. And these people either do not know the scriptures that condemn false prophets and false prophecies, or they don't care. They don't have reverence for God in that matter. So, or they look at it and they say that's Old Testament, it doesn't apply to the New Testament. We don't need to fear God, we need to love everyone, which is the message of the world, which was ramped up in the 60s and sealed by the Beatles song and all that came in the 70s. So, they're following the message of the world in that case, not of the teachings of Jesus Christ.
So there you have it. So following that line, we actually ended up seeing that these people who are congregating around these false prophets have many motives. Many of them are mixed motives, but they're all bad motives. You can't have a good motive by following a false prophet. The false prophet is speaking in a way that makes God a liar. And God is not a liar. So there's no way around that their motives are wrong. And they try to make them seem right by piling on all of this icing of love, 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 sweet, sweet, love, love, you're great, keep going. You know, like there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. And the message of the world is like that. They don't want to fear God. Notice that the Christians who turn away and go away become agnostics at best, atheists at worst, or enemies of the church. They're all enemies of the church anyway, because they've been Christians and now they've turned away. They say the same thing. They cannot stomach the God of the Old Testament. They try to separate out God, the Father, as if he's the God of the Old Testament, and Jesus is talking about a different God in the New Testament, which is absolutely abhorrent. That's not what's going on. And so they see the Old Testament God is a God of fear, and the New Testament God is a God of love. And that is not at all the way it is. Because you have Revelation, the book of Revelation, and a lot of the prophecies of Jesus about the end times. You cannot say that the God of the New Testament is not also a God of fear. Because you cannot understand the message of love of Christ apart from the fear of God. He says, I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword, to divide the most intimate relationships of mankind. Husband and wife, father and son, mother and daughter. All of these are to be divided by the sword that Jesus brings. In the end, he's going to come back on a horse with a robe dipped in blood and a sword, and he's going to cut down all the kings of the earth to the point where the blood will go up to the bridles. That is not a God of peace and love, not the love that's of peace. The love that Jesus was saying is not a love of the kind of peace that the world looks for. It's the kind of peace where you make peace with the only king or you don't, and you die. There are no prisoners. That's the God of peace of the Bible. That's the God of love of the Bible. If you obey my commands, things will go well with you. And if you do not, I must dispense justice against you for the sake of those who are doing what is good and what is right. Otherwise, if I don't, then I don't show love to them. I love them, and they obey my commands because they love me. And if I don't punish you who disobey my commands, which proves that you don't love me, then I don't love those who are obeying my commands. It's justice. Also, by punishing the wicked for disobedience, God can say, I'm loving them. Because I'm punishing them for their wickedness. Which means, automatically, I would love them and reward them for their obedience. So I must punish them for their wickedness to prove my love that was offered to them. If I don't, that love that was offered to them was false. God is a liar again if he doesn't punish the wicked. So, that message from the world is what these people who are following the false prophets are promoting by piling this on to the false prophets who are openly in disobedience to God and making God out to be a liar. May the Lord bless you as you truly seek him with all your heart. Remember to subscribe down below and like the video and share it on your Facebook and other social media. And then make a comment, whether a question or a comment. We read all of them, and we try to respond to all. Get on over to our website, The Rooted Word, and start reading the translation and also the articles we've posted. It's at therootedword.com, therootedword.com. And may the Lord bless you as you seek him with all your heart.